Two, one, and there. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Zinni 62. How you doing? And it's 8:32 in the east, 5:32 in beautiful Oakland, which I
Yes,
haven't
it
seen
is.
in a while. Hey, Lupe, is it really beautiful? How's the weather there?
It was actually raining today,
Oh my
so
God,
in my terms, it was very beautiful because I like the rain,
I like the rain too.
but
Hey,
I don't like the cold.
uh,
But
I,
it's pretty good.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody! I'm introducing Lupe. Is it Lara? Is that the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Lupe Loera.
Loera,
Mm-hmm.
Lupe Loera, and Lupe was the victim of a hate crime. It occurred in the Oakland grocery store parking lot. And I'm going to play for you, and also show you the video. I'm going to bring those of you who are
Yes.
watching now live around so you can see it as
Mm-hmm.
I play it. This is I start in the video right here.
Now, you know that? It's not free to be racist anymore. I can speak Spanish wherever I want. And next time, what a very, oh my God, kind of husband you have. You, no, next time you're not gonna be facing a woman. If you face a man and you tell him that, he will beat your ass. I am suggesting to you to stop being a racist. That's what you need. Okay? Just because this is no. Don't think that racism is good now. Don't think that it's okay. Don't think that you can do it now. You don't have permission to do it. You do not have permission. So next time, stay out of a conversation that's not between you. It was in Spanish because nobody was talking to your ass. I'm not talking to you. I don't know who you are. I am not talking to you. You can stay out of it. I'm talking to that person over there. That person over there. Okay? No, I'm just making sure that you get posted that you don't like Mexicans speaking Spanish to each other because you don't understand them. Oh, you want to give me the finger? Yeah, after you threatened to beat me? Okay. If you touch me, you go to jail. You go to jail. You go to jail. So even him. So I'm not getting in between me and you. I'm not talking to you, but you're gonna talk shit about my husband. Nobody was talking to you. You are not gonna talk about my husband. You are not gonna talk about my husband because you know who has the piece of shit husband? You do. You have the racist piece of shit right there. You do. So how about you educate your man to be a little bit more manly and grow some fucking balls? Jesus. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. What you gonna do? Come on then. Come on, what you gonna do? Take off. No, you back up. He's doing this to a woman. You see that I'm sorry, ma'am, does he also beat you? Is that the type of man he is? That he beats you as well? Does he beat you at home, ma'am? That's why he thinks he can beat on women? He is not. You are not. You touch me, motherfucker. Do not call me no fucking bitch. Do not call me no fucking bitch. You put your hands on me, I put you in jail. If you're used to hitting your wife, that is on you, you stupid piece of shit. Bye, ho. Both of y'all motherfuckers. Oh, you're gonna call ICE on me. That is why you are being recorded. This is the Oakland grocery outlet. Yes, it's these people. Let me get their life of them. Yeah, call Donald Trump and his whole whoever the fuck you want, you racist piece of asshole. Bye.
Okay, so Lupe, I have to say, first of all, congratulations for standing up for yourself. And I know you're disabled. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So
I was actually in a wheelchair while this was happening inside the store. So that's a backstory that people don't really understand because I did write out a description of what happened prior to when I started the video.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of misconception and misunderstanding on where all of this came from. And I only decided to start recording, after I had left the situation inside of the grocery outlet. came out, put all of my groceries inside of my trunk, you know, and I had to put the electric wheelchair back into the store. So when I was going back inside, he was coming out. So he was continuing, you know, the assault and the verbal assault, you know, and the racist comments. So I approached the security guard at the grocery outlet and I asked him, can you please escort me back to my car because I need to go, you know, I need to pass him to get to my car. And I am afraid of what he can do, you know, because he's threatening me.
Mm-hmm.
And the security guard said no, because it was already in the parking lot. I just needed to call Oakland police. So I realized by the time Oakland police get here, he can actually put his hands on me and I could be seriously injured because I just had spine surgery. So that's when I decided to start recording. So there is a lot of background before the video, and then there's a lot of the video that needs to be unpacked as well.
Oh, first, I'm sorry that happened to you, Lupe, and ma'am, I have to ask you because I have this visual, and did you and Joseph Amanduras, who's one of our Zenny 62 vloggers, just wrote right here. He says racism has no color. It's sad that people of color act this way with each other, specifically with Black Latinos who historically have been discriminated against. Hey, Joseph, do you want to get on the call with me and talk with her? He's in LA. He's a great guy. But I want to ask you, I have this image of you being in the wheelchair and this man is talking to you this way while not that it should matter that you're in a wheelchair, but it sounds like he's you're physically defenseless and he's talking to you this way, right?
Yes, that's where that's why I realized, like, wow, if this man is really capable of doing something like this in public, like what must he do, you know, behind closed doors or in secluded areas to women, you know? He knew I was vulnerable, you know, he knew that I was disabled, he knew that I could not fend for myself. He could see me in the wheelchair, obviously, you know, he could see that I could not walk well. And you can see in the video when he takes off his gloves, drops them on the floor, and then all of a sudden starts getting pumped to go more towards me and, you know, I guess try to put his hands on me after he threatened me so many times in the store and outside of the store. And yes, I was very loud, so it's a little hard to hear them sometimes what they're saying because my voice, you know, just overpowers the recording. So that's where I realized, like, I didn't know where his voice came from. I had no idea who she was. I didn't see her until we were out there. So I was like, okay, she was really scared, you know, and at that point I realized, I was like, does this man, like, if he does this to me, to a woman that he can clearly see is in a wheelchair and he can definitely beat up very badly and put in the hospital, you know, he's probably capable of doing this to his wife. And that is not based on color or anything. That was solemnly based on his actions because he was also the woman that I was speaking to, you know, when everything started inside.
Oh my God. What bothers me on top of that is a security guard, I mean, should have escorted you out there rather than saying, well, it's in the parking lot. And that bothers me for two reasons. A, the parking lot is the ownership of the grocery store. That's their use. They can call someone and have them towed, right? B, I don't care how it sounds. As a man, that's what he should have done. And I don't want to go on a rant about how things have changed, but I don't care. A man should always step up and help a woman in need. And I know that's old fashioned, but you know, I think we need a little old fashioned nowadays. So that would have never happened. If I'd been there, I would have made sure you got to your car. I'm just saying that bothered me.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Like, and there was more than one security guard and I couldn't get either one of them. You know, like they failed to protect both their employee inside, that he was also speaking to very, very racist too. And to me as a customer, they were not protecting anyone. They were not doing anything. I asked them to escort me to my car. My husband was over at the car, and he actually came to the middle and, made sure that this guy wasn't getting close to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I come out and he at no point, goes towards my husband. It's just all against me,
Mm.
like
He's picking on a woman, like he's picking on you because he sees you as vulnerable.
Yeah,
Jeez,
yeah. He
Louise.
sees me as like,
oh man,
maybe, okay, this woman's in a wheelchair. Like, this woman, she looks weak. She looks like, and she can't defend herself. So she's probably not going to say anything to me. So I can treat her however I want. That was his thought. He never ever expected that I was going to stand up for myself and even start recording him, because his demeanor did change when he saw me start recording him. He actually calmed down a lot. He was doing way worse before the recording. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And there's, when I'm saying people are the people that are commenting on the video all over the internet. A lot are questioning where the other half of the video is. There is no other half of the video. I did not ever expect that I was going to be going through something like that so that I could be prepared to start taking video of this person. I simply was in line. I was in my wheelchair, in line, putting my things up. My husband was helping me. He came all the way to the front, so he left me by myself for a little bit. Meanwhile, I am paying. I completely forgot about a coupon. So I asked the lady about the coupon, and we started speaking in Spanish. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about bilinguals or trilinguals or people that just have different languages is that sometimes we alternate between languages without noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So we were speaking in Spanish, and she was still ringing me up. She was still finishing up my transaction. It wasn't like we were done and we were chatting, Like, it literally, didn't even take a 15-second conversation in Spanish where she was explaining to me, providing customer service on how to get this coupon that I was asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And as he sees that, he wasn't even respecting the implemented social distancing here in California. He was way too close to me. And the cashier...
And he was not wearing a mask.
No, he was not. No, he definitely was not. But he was wearing his gloves. And he definitely left those on the ground. So, I mean, at the very least, if no one wants to help me, they should give him a ticket for loitering,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and the woman, the only person that stood up for me there was the cashier. She told him, "Can you please wait? Like, I'm not even done helping her. Mm-hmm. I will get to you. You just need to be calm. Like, please." And he's, "Oh, if you guys are speaking, and then you guys shouldn't be speaking at all. You guys should be speaking in English so I know what you're saying." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know why you don't understand what we are saying? Because you are not supposed to be in our conversation.
Right.
This is between me and her.
Right.
It is not meant for you at all to be in or to know of what we are saying. This is me and her, not me, her, and you."
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he started saying, "Oh, well, you guys are in America. You should speak English." That you get that common conception that English is the official language of the United States of America, when it is not. There is no official language. But according to him, English is the official language, and we had to speak it once we were in this country. We could not speak our native language.
Hey, you know,
which
Lupe,
obviously
one thing I
experienced.
one thing I do want to say that I would have done, I would have said, hey, okay, maybe you can help me with this with this. Do you know what the right coupon is, right? And then if he had, and then put him to the test, you know, because I mean, obviously he was already being a butthole. I mean, that's without question. But you know, I'm just talking about it, you know, maybe just diffusing a little bit because we know he's a butthole. But maybe you could have, you know, maybe say next time that happens, or you know, because you have people out here in the society who racism is a mental illness. All right. I mean, it's a clinical, according to the Oxford Dictionary, pathological disorder. And the best way to diffuse it is just to say to the person something that's sensible rather than taking them on. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have taken them on. You stood up for yourself, and bravo to you. You know, I was like, yes, absolutely. You know, oh yeah. But
I did it to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was not feeling great. You know, like I have a lot of chronic illnesses.
Oh,
you
no.
know, I have cancer.
Oh.
I have a lot of different things. You know, I've had various spine surgeries. So I am a person that is actually in pain and ill most of the time. I barely had the energy, you know, so, but I still wasn't gonna be belittled just because I was in a wheelchair.
No, that's right. No, you right. You should. You mean and God bless you for doing that. You know, I was. What did anybody else? Did they all just watch anyone try to come to your aid?
Yeah, everybody just watched.
Oh, jeez,
everybody. Everybody inside of the store. Well, actually, there was this man that also got pissed off and said that we should have just been spoken English so that the situation would have never happened.
What?
That was.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it was this very large white man. So I just looked at him and I was like, sir, we are not speaking to you either. You know, like, where are you coming in? So yeah, someone did get involved, but just to tell us that it was our fault because we were speaking Spanish.
That's insanity.
That,
oh my God, I'm sorry.
Not inside of the store did anyone try to help us. Not a manager, you know, not a security guard, nobody, you know. And outside, people were just walking to their cars, looking at the commotion, and just, you know, going on with their day.
Oh.
I was wondering, like, how is it that none of these men even remotely tell him, like, hey, man, you know, like, calm down, or like, you know, whatever she's done to you, maybe you should let it go. No, on the contrary, a lot of people, you know, on the internet are commenting that that's what I should have done, and that's mainly because women are taught and are conditioned to be quiet, you know, and to not stand up for themselves because that's not ladylike. You know, meanwhile, men that do this, it's just toxic masculinity. You know, it's
as opposed to
masculinity man that has had his ego fragile, you know, and
but here's
not going to take a woman like me speaking back to him.
And just to add what you're saying, though, no one says to him, hey, which I would have said, can't you be a gentleman? And
no,
that is hotline. And I think
I saw that on the video that you posted. I did make a police report today.
Okay.
Because you know, I don't know if you saw the text message that I sent you.
I did. I was going to read it.
My friends. Yeah, of one of my friends. Oh, you said you were going to read it?
Yeah, I have it here online. If it pops up properly, I have it.
Okay, I mean, if you want to go ahead and read it, and then I can continue from there of why I decided to make the police report right away.
I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Opening slowly. Here it is. One moment, please. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm scrolling up to get it. Put that aside here. And one moment, please. and I'm going to read it, not show it, because I don't want to show any other information on here. It's not
Right.
for some particular reason. This thing's decided not to scroll. Let me see here. Try over here. Make it scroll that way. Oh, wait a minute. But let me try this another way. Neat thing about this,
or
I've got it right here.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it right here. There, and I got it. Okay. There was somebody. I'm not going to list that. I'm not going to say the person's name because I'm going to assume they don't know that this is going to be read live. But what this person reported was, quote, "I've seen this guy at Lakeshore at the bank." I guess that means the Bank of America Lakeshore, which I bank at.
Yes.
Okay. I was standing in line about 6 feet away, and he looked at me weird. I asked if I was in his way, and he said yes. So I backed up some more. I didn't think much about it. I didn't think much of it. It was probably because I was Chinese and thought I was diseased. I hope he gets sick though. And you wrote, "No way. See, it's just so obviously how racist he is and does it towards women so he can feel so masculine. Oh my God, he is a POS. I'm so mad again. See, he must do this all over Oakland. That's why I decided to protect myself and expose him. Because if he's willing to do all this in public, he must get away with it all the time." That's wow. It's a sad situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she didn't even say, "Oh, it looks like him," though. She was positive that it was him. So I was really shocked when she mentioned this to me, and she's a really old friend of mine, you know, since middle school, and she's always been this very sweet person, you know. So I feel like he targets certain types of women, you know, women of color, women that seem and look to be alone and are vulnerable for one reason or another in his eyes. So I think that it's a pretty common practice that he's doing, and it's all in the same area. As you said, you know, being an Oakland native, the grocery store here on, you know, the grocery outlet where the incident happened that I was at is not too far from the Bank of America Lakeshore that my friend was mentioning. It's in the same area. So this person is literally like in the same neighborhood all the time, I'm assuming, you know, doing all this. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, you know, he must be stressed out because of the lockdown, and that's just how he's reacting and being and stuff." And I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. I don't take that as an excuse for a man to be treating a woman like that. Point, period, and blank, you know? If he had the chance, he would have put his hands on me. I am 100% sure of that, which is why I started reporting him, because he probably thought there are cameras inside of the grocery outlet, but not outside, you know? So, like I said, when I took out my phone and started recording him, his demeanor changed completely. He seemed very scary.
And so he was behind you and he just started blurting up. He just sort of blurted it out all of a sudden, just like you're trying to get your business done. All of a sudden he's blap. Jeez Louise. Has this happened before in Oakland?
Yeah.
Has this happened before in Oakland? I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were going to say, yeah, in response to my question about what he did. So continue that before I ask you the next question.
Oh, about my friend?
Yeah.
And the comments?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, like, you know, when she mentioned that to me and, you know, she was sure it was him and everything, that's when I decided, I was like, you know what, like, I really need to make this police report at this point, and I'm also going to be contacting the number that you gave on the video, because I'm afraid now, you know, of him knowing my name and knowing me, you know, obviously physically he can recognize me. And I told the police officer that if something happens to me, I'm holding him liable, because he was just so violent, and it was for nothing, like I can't see anything or think of anything that could trigger him so much to react in such a violent manner,
Yeah, it's just,
So
I will say this right here publicly,
makes
since
me
you can see my
scared.
face. Leave her alone, and remember to be kind to people, because we're all going through this together. And there's no reason for you, sir, to impart bad feelings on people, uh, just being out in public because of stuff going on in your head. If you have that kind of stuff going on in your head, stop, say the 23rd Psalm, get a therapist, get a psychiatrist, get help, because we don't need that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly. Because I was pissed, and I was, I actually don't even curse that much because I was raised in a household with very strict parents. So the only time that happens and my mouth, goes like that is when I'm very pissed off, and specifically when it is being of racism towards my race and any race and anybody that I love around me. I don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to stand there. I am not the type of person that would see something like that and not, intervene and try to help the person being attacked. Like, I have dedicated my life and my career to help my people, to help people of immigrant descent, first generations going to college, and this is of any color. I do not have to resort to racism like he did at any point in the video. Like, yes, I said a lot of names, but at no point did I, say any racist comments because of his race or anything like that. And usually people resort, like himself, to, speak on someone's race and, like calling ICE on me and calling Donald Trump on me is because they are so small-minded and so ignorant that that's the only way that they can defend themselves, by being racist, and it's like, why do you need to resort to that?
No,
I didn't have to resort to cursing either, but I was just really mad, and I was done with him because I had already walked away from the situation, and he continued it. He still followed me. He still decided that it was okay to come outside and still try to come after me. I'm like, that is not okay. That is not okay. That is not okay in my eyes. I don't know. I wasn't even speaking to his wife at all, and she started insulting us as well.
Yeah, I saw
She
that. That's
wasn't
what
even inside
that's
store.
what gets me about the whole thing. If they were really, and I think anybody watching this should obviously reason this way. If those folks didn't do anything wrong, then they would have said, knowing the video was on, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But they kept berating you, which to me,
Exactly.
that in and of itself tells me they know they did something wrong, and not only that, they know they did something wrong, and not only that, they don't care. And that's what bothers me. They don't care.
They don't, because they get away with it all the time.
and yeah,
because they can do it.
And what's sad,
and unfortunately, unfortunately, right now, a lot of people feel, of all races, of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all regions, that it's okay to be racist and mean and just disrespectful to Latinos, because of the administration we have right now that is encouraging, hate against us, and implying stereotypes about all of us. Like, one of the comments that was made in the video was that I should get deported and I should go back, that I could only do that going back to where I was from because I was illegally here. So I was already committing a crime, and a worse crime than whatever he could have done by putting his hands on me. And I was just like, wow, I think it's hilarious that people automatically think I'm illegal just because I'm brown.
No,
You
yeah,
know?
that's more awfully hurtful. And I think what bothers me about what we are today is at Berkeley, where I got my master's degree in urban planning. My thesis was called "A Theory of Decline: The American Institution and the World Economy." And to make a long story short, out of the respect for the fact that you're the guest, what I was trying to explain is that mono-ethnic countries, particularly the then newly industrialized countries of Pacific Rim like Japan and Korea, took care of their own,
Right.
and they made sure that you have the basics: healthcare, housing, everything else. That's true in many places in Europe, but the United States and the UK, the most integrated countries, always think the problem is someone else. Or in Europe, there was the immigrants coming over from Africa and everything else. And I think if anything we can learn, I want us to learn from what we're going through, is how truly much we need each other and how interconnected we are, and we can't afford to have things happen like what happened to you.
Yes. It's just, I think a lot of Latinos are messaging me and telling me that I should have walked away. And I tell them, because you tell people to walk away, because you walk away, that's why so many people think it's okay to treat us this way,
Right, and it's not.
That's what gives them power. That's what gives them power. That's what gives them a right. And I also thought that there was one comment that was very curious to me, and I realized how ignorant more people are, especially on the internet, was someone told me that they were not in the wrong, that I was in the wrong, and that I should get an education because she knew the law, and she knew that one of the laws in the Constitution is freedom of speech, so he could say anything he wanted to me.
Out of the blue? I don't believe this. Oh my God, that's insanity.
I thought it was funny, mainly because this person that thought she was so educated in the law completely forgot that it applies to both parties, not just one.
Right, and they don't know the hate crime law. We have a hate crime law that was put on the books by my good friend John Russo when he was Oakland City Councilman, District 2, and it was a hate crime hotline. And then he strengthened it when he was the head, when he was the lawyer for the city of Oakland. He was Oakland's first elected lawyer, and then reelected for 3 terms.
Wow.
Now he's Irvine city manager. But I digress. My point is, because I was there.
I'm sorry. What did you say he was?
I'm sorry.
What was his name?
Say again, please.
What was the name of him?
His name is John Russo, and he's an Irvine city manager.
Yeah, I knew another lawyer that was helping him, I believe. His last name was Peter Roth.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Peter in years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Is it Peter Roth or David Roth? David Roth.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. So I know their family, and I know them. They were very nice to us. They helped a lot of Latino families.
I have some
they helped
I have some bad news about it. Oh wow, I have some bad news. I have some bad news about Dave. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, he passed away. Very sad. Yeah.
I have not had contact with him since I was in high school.
Wow.
And it was hard for me to get in contact with them. I couldn't find them anymore, and I didn't want to assume the worst. But that is very sad. That's
Yeah, Dave was a good man.
I did not expect to anything.
Yeah, he was a very good man.
He helped a lot of people. He left a legacy behind, for sure.
Wow.
Sure.
The world is too small.
Yeah, the world is small. It is.
God.
And Oakland is just so, it's Oakland, this is where the Black Panthers started.
Right.
This is where so many good things started, so that such ignorant and discriminated things are happening now,
And that's what bothers we have enough problems. Why would you want to put that on somebody else? We go through it enough. Exactly. Why do you want to do that? Somebody else, We go through it enough. Why do you want to do that? My colleague Joseph Almendarez, I'm going to call him as he has a unique take on this. So, one moment, please.
Okay. Yes, definitely.
Joseph, Zenny Abraham, I'm introducing you to. Is it okay if I call you Lupe?
Yes, Lupe, please.
Lupe, this is
Hello.
Joseph Lupe, Hey,
Lupe, how are you?
Can you hear him?
No, what did you say?
He said, "How are you?"
Oh, I'm good. I'm doing better. I was actually hospitalized yesterday.
Sad to see. I mean, it threw me off because I guess the interactions you and I have and what we have everybody on this channel, we forget about the racism.
Mm-hmm.
Me being of Latin descent, I don't think of Zenny as black. I just think of Zenny, my friend, and Zenny, the vlogger. I have never once thought, oh, here's this black guy Zenny. And it's unfortunate that this incident had pointed out that many people look at each other through lenses instead of seeing each other as a fellow human being.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I mean, I don't mind being thought of as a black guy. And here's why I say this, okay? Because as a bachelor, you say, hey, when you're meeting someone, you're interested in their background and their story. And their background could be like this, I'll just say her ethnicity because I didn't want to give her name away, but a Colombian woman I was interested in years ago, but you want to learn their culture. And so as a black person, I like that person sees that I'm black because they understand that I have a unique experience that forms who I am as a person, just as your unique experience forms who you are as a person, Lupe or Joseph or anybody else, or someone who might be Celtic, you would call white. And I would say, hey, that person has interesting dance. I'd love to know because Celtic female dancers have great legs, right? So my point is, it's okay to see the differences as long as they're positive because they make up who we are,
Right, and just to clarify my comment, it was, what you said is 100% true. I think what I was getting at was to judge a person based on just what their color is. That's kind of what I was getting at because when I think of Zenny, I don't think, I wonder if he's okay because because he's black. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, of course, you acknowledge because that's the beauty of what we do is that who doesn't? I mean, for me, for someone like myself, I love different cultures. I love different languages because to me that's exciting. And I think for people of like-minded mentalities is that knowledge is power. Knowledge is interesting to me. I crave that knowledge. So the more I can learn about other things, the more I'm interested in. But I think with myself and trying to make the other things, the more I'm interested in. But I think with myself and trying to make the I was making was or color is what I was getting at because it seems like this man was very angry. Now, I could only assume, just as I'm sure Lupe could only assume what was going through his mind, but you have to think that incident that she described that I briefly heard about her being in the line and the other cashier telling him to wait. Obviously, it sparked a sense of insecurity for him that thought, wait, why are you making me wait? Who are you? As opposed to thinking, okay, well, I need to wait my turn. But maybe this guy has it in for people, is an angry person just in general. And this is how he reacted because why would I be offended by anybody talking a different language?
Hey,
it
Joseph,
has to come from a place of insecurity.
You gave me an idea I want to do real quick. Lupe, would you repeat in Spanish what happened to you, please?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Could you repeat in Spanish for us what happened to you? Because it occurred to me that as we're talking about bilingual being at the seat of this, you didn't get a chance to speak to those who might be listening who are, Latino and want to hear in their language what happened. Could you do that?
Yeah, no problem.
Go
Yeah, claro
for
que
it.
sí.
Go for it.
Lo que sucedió fue que estaba en línea para hacer unas compras. Estábamos comprando comida yo y mi esposo. Yo tengo varias cirugías en la espalda a causa de consecuencias por tener cáncer. Entonces tengo que andar en silla de ruedas por lo más que yo pueda, especialmente en lugares donde tengo que caminar mucho. Entonces yo estaba en línea y estaba respetando la distancia que se implementó en California desde lo del coronavirus. Y estaba un hombre un poco más mayor atrás de mí, que era, pareciera ser afroamericano. Y empezamos a hablar yo y la cajera, mientras ella escaneaba mis cosas y yo estaba pagando. Se me olvidó un cupón y le estaba preguntando cómo le podía hacer para la próxima vez y obtener el cupón. La conversación en realidad no duró más que 15 segundos en español, cuando este hombre empezó a decirnos que a qué hora lo iban a atender a él si nomás no la estaban pasando platicando. Entonces la cajera le dijo que por favor fuera un poco paciente, que todavía no acababa conmigo, que me estaba ayudando y estaba explicándome unas cosas que yo necesito como cliente. Y se frustró el señor, se enojó y empezó a decir que deberíamos de hablar inglés porque estamos en Estados Unidos, y al hablar español él no podía entender nada de lo que nosotros estábamos diciendo. Yo volteé y le dije al señor que él no entendía lo que nosotros estábamos diciendo porque la conversación no era para él, ni era de él, entonces, ni para incluirlo. Entonces, por eso no había necesidad de hablar en inglés, ni para comedirlo, ni nada, porque nosotras queríamos hablar en español y así me estaba explicando el cupón y así estábamos entendiendo las dos. Entonces empezó a hacer más comentarios de racismo contra la gente latina, contra la gente mexicana. No entiende tampoco el señor que no todos los latinos son mexicanos, pero empezó a decirnos que si queríamos hablar español, que nos debíamos de regresar a nuestro lugar de origen, que no deberíamos de estar en Estados Unidos entonces. Y yo le expliqué que yo podía hablar cualquier lenguaje en Estados Unidos y él dijo que no, que porque aquí se tenía que hablar inglés. Y le dije que no hay un idioma oficial en Estados Unidos. Entonces en ese momento creo que se sintió ya como que más ofendido porque lo estaba. Y hay personas, en vez de gustarles aprender, se ofenden al decirles algo, porque no todos les gusta que se corrija o que se regale información que uno sabe. Entonces empezó empezó a amenazarme, que me podía golpear, que me empezó a decir que era una puta, y eso es una palabra que a mí no me gusta que me digan, y creo que a ninguna mujer, y que debería de callarme porque soy mujer, y yo estaba en silla de ruedas enfrente de él. Entonces él me estaba viendo a mí como si yo fuera. En ese punto yo terminé ya la transacción con la señora y me fui. Él estaba gritando desde la cama todavía varias cosas racistas y nadie lo callaba. La cajera ya no le pudo decir nada porque pues ella también estaba asustada por su seguridad, y en muchas ocasiones no se apoya ni se protege a los empleados cuando pasan cosas así. Entonces ella ya quedó callada, pero nadie intervino, nadie hizo nada, ni siquiera los de seguridad. yo me fui y eché mis cosas a mi carro y como él estaba atrás de mí, pues ya estaba pagando mientras que yo fui a cargar mi carro de mi comida y regresando la silla eléctrica, él iba saliendo. Y fue cuando siguió los insultos y las amenazas y muchísimas cosas que no se le debe de decir a una mujer. Fue muy fácil para él faltarme al respeto, no le importó. Y le pedí al de seguridad que si por favor me podía encaminar a mi carro, porque para llevar a mi carro tenía que pasar por el de él y por donde estaba él. Y me dijeron que no, que porque ya era afuera en el parqueadero, entonces le tenía que llamar a la policía de Oakland. Entonces digo yo, ya que llegue la policía de Oakland, este hombre puede hacerme algo y yo no me recupero de un golpe fuerte. Yo puedo quedar muy mal, yo puedo quedar permanentemente en silla de rueda o en una situación peor por mis enfermedades. Entonces lo único que pensé en protegerme a mí misma fue sacar mi celular y empezar a grabarlo. El señor sí cambió mucho cuando vio que lo empecé a grabar, se calmó bastante, a pesar de que se ve bastante agresivo en el video, sí se calmó. Y en el video se puede ver donde él se quiere alistar para, caminó hacia mí y empezó según él a alistarse, a quitarse sus guantes y su chaqueta y muy hombre haciéndose ver porque me iba a pegar, porque me iba a hacer algo. Y yo le dejé saber que si él me ponía la mano encima, yo lo iba a meter a la cárcel, que él iba a ir directo a la cárcel. Y a él no le importó, él no se le hacía que algo le iba a pasar a él, claro que no, porque pensó que yo no le podía hacer nada porque soy una persona ilegal en Estados Unidos. En ese momento entró una señora que yo ni siquiera había visto y resultó ser su esposa. Ella también empezó a insultarme a mí y a mi marido. No sé por qué, a ella no se le hizo nada, creo que ni sabía qué estaba pasando. Y las cosas se pusieron peor. Adentro de la tienda estaba siendo racista, estaba haciendo comentarios racistas, pero ya cuando lo estaba grabando ya no lo estaba haciendo tan seguido ni tan, porque no quería que se agarrara el video y era una forma de comprobar lo que estaba diciendo yo que pasó adentro. Bueno, perdón, un poquito para atrás. Me fijé que su esposa estaba un poco asustada y estaba diciéndole que ya se fue y que ya se fuera, a lo que iba a meter al carro, y él no se dejaba, él quería fuerzas pelear conmigo, insultarme, golpearme, lo que se le ocurriera. Entonces pensé yo, si este señor es capaz de hacer una escena así contra una mujer que sabe que está enferma, que la vio en una silla de ruedas, ¿qué más ha de ser capaz de hacer? Entonces yo le dije a la señora, le digo, señora, si ustedes tienen miedo, si él le pega en su casa, no está bien. O sea, le quería decir que había ayuda para ella también y se puede ver cómo su cara cambia. No sé si era en susto o en vergüenza, pero se subió a su carro. Ya no le gustó el comentario que le hice, que es más seguro de que este señor, su marido, le ha de poner las manos encima, le ha de pegar en casa. Y ya se subieron a su carro los dos, seguían diciéndome malas palabras.
Uh-huh.
Y luego me dijo que me iba a llamar a ICE, a inmigración, para que me llevaran y me deportaran. Y esposo, el señor que empezó todo, dijo que le iba a llamar a Donald Trump, como si Donald Trump pudiera llegar allí y hacer todo lo que él quiere. Y también como si Donald Trump quisiera a todas las personas de color. Creo que ese señor no tiene una agenda para las personas de color y las minorías de Estados Unidos. Entonces, eso es más o menos lo que pasó y lo que transcurrió durante la transacción en la tienda y afuera en el parqueadero.
Oh, thank you for that. Joseph Amenduras has a question for you. He's going to express both in English and Spanish. Joseph, go ahead.
Yes. Just to give kudos to Lupe, her Spanish is way superior than mine, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay, so my initial question I'll ask in English, excuse me, and then I'll translate into Spanish. So maybe Lupe could answer both English and Spanish.
Okay.
So my initial question was, do you think that the prevalency of the gentrification process in Oakland, since there are more ethnicities in Oakland today, that is primarily one of the maybe fear factors for this individual? Or do you think that Trump has awoken the racism in a lot of people and they feel emboldened to speak their mind without any regard for other people? And so in that question in Spanish, I would say, ¿tú piensas en la ciudad de Oakland que está cambiando mucho y eso es el problema con ese señor? ¿O piensas que el problema es del presidente Trump, que tiene mucha gente que le gusta el racismo, que están saliendo de todos los lados?
Okay. So for an English answer, I actually did some research, wrote some papers, took some classes. I do have a degree in sociology at the University of California, Santa Cruz. And we studied this portion because it's so close to home with the gentrification happening. I think that it's an interesting correlation between the two, because it has always been said that Mexicans come here and take people's jobs, Americans' jobs. So in the gentrification aspect, now, coming into the Silicon Valley and into Oakland and creating all these new companies that are taking away, native Oaklanders' livelihood. Then you have a president that is implying that, we have to put someone at fault. So who better than the Mexicans that were already people the encouragement, to be racist to us, to be violent towards us, The violence and hate crimes against Mexicans, against Latinos have gone up ever since the Trump administration took over. The okays that he gives, the simple remark, well, not simple, but the way that he made it so simple as a remark, saying that all Mexicans were rapists and, drug dealers.
Ignore that.
A lot of people are also under the impression that we don't pay taxes, legal or non-legal Mexicans, Latinos, when they do. And then there's most Mexicans come out here to get food stamps, so we pay for it, when they don't understand statistics actually do not support that. It is not mainly POC on food stamps. It is other races as well. So I believe that this man is probably angry because of the gentrification happening in Oakland if he's a native, and he needs to find some type of outlet to let his anger, you know, uh, out, you know,
No
and
excuse.
fester and everything.
No excuse. Oh, for that kind of, that
Yeah,
was
no
terrible
excuse,
for him.
no
Oh,
excuse. But he believes that, okay, I can't really do much, but if I can insult the same people that the president is insulting and he's not getting any consequences, maybe I can get away with it too. And
wow.
that is what's making America scary for Latinos and people of color, you know.
Has this happened to
That
you?
we do have.
Has this happened to you in Oakland before?
Actually, no. Mm-mm. No, it had not happened to me in Oakland before.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, this, you know, that's good.
The
It's an
first time,
outlier.
yeah, that's why I was really shocked because Oakland is Oakland, you know, it's diverse, it's different, it's embracing, you know. It's completely different to any other place that I've ever been to, you know. I have gone to the countries where I think that racism is very well alive how to arrive here, you know. This wasn't years and years ago. Like there are people that still remember living in the Jim Crow laws. And there's also a lot of people that don't know that the Jim Crow law was, you know, the one blood rule, and Mexicans actually fell into the Jim Crow laws as well. You know, a lot of people don't know that Mexicans were also being, or you know, Latinos were also being lynched right next to our brothers and sisters of Africa.
Right.
You know, it's something that a lot of people don't know. And yes, many say that African Americans in the United States have a very different and you know, more harsh struggle than Mexicans and Latinos. And in part, that's true, you know. But at the moment, because of Trump, we are the ones that are in concentration camps, you know. So instead of joining, you know, to help each other like we did, you know, marching with Martin Luther King, you know, because Mexicans were also marching with Martin Luther King, you know, as well as whites, as well as African Americans and everyone that believes in equality.
Yeah, and I think Donald Trump is using this to get. I remember, actually, this is on Zenny62 on YouTube. There's an interview that I commented on where Donald Trump was a guest on David Letterman's show. This is January. He announced he was running for president. He completely flipped. And
which he does a lot of.
And you're talking to a guy who tried out to be on The Apprentice and got interviewed. And one thing that attracted me to being on his show, or the possibility of being on his show, was the thought that there wasn't racism, because there are a number of people that elevated through the contest who were black, who won on a couple of occasions, although there are people who are saying, hey, how come there aren't more blacks? But they did respond, and they put more African Americans on. And so that Donald Trump, I would never have associated with the person that we got who's running for president. And there was always this thought that a New Yorker, particularly among political junkies, a New Yorker could never win an election to be president of the United States. He is the first to do that, but he did it using racism. He went. In other words, he went there. You know, to win. He went there for bucks. You were going to say?
I'm sorry to cut you off. But,
go ahead.
It just goes to show, you know, like people forgot that just because racism was abolished and made illegal, you know, all the people that were being racist and, you know, implementing those laws didn't vanish along with them.
That's true.
They continue to be around. They still exist. You know, there's still in generations where the grandparents that were, you know, young in those times and remember everything well, still implemented to their family. You know, it used to be where they were just in their homes about it and a little more silent because, they could be charged with a hate crime. And now they feel free like they did back before the marches of Mr. Martin Luther King. So there are a lot of rich people, and America thought that they were gone, but they resurfaced when Donald Trump gave them a voice and power.
Yeah, sadly.
Can I add something?
Absolutely. Joseph Amenderis, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, the one thing that I think we all, that what I noticed, I won't say we all, I won't put us all in that same category, is that when we use the term Mexican or argue Mexican, we got to realize people have this impression of, again, let me clarify, a lot of people have this impression that recently all Mexicans have just swarmed over here. That's
a part-time columnist with the Montclarian, and no journalist background. They hired me because I worked in economic development and had a lot of valuable information to share, they thought. And so I'm on BART, and I'm sitting across from this woman who just was, and this is just me because absolutely gorgeous. And she was flirting with her legs and everything. And I thought, I have to know this person. So we started talking on the train. And within like 30 seconds, after she told me she's an immigration lawyer, we started talking about, this is 94, okay, 1994. And we started talking about her clients and story. And I wound up writing what to this day most satisfying stories I've ever written in my entire life for anything. And her client, her client was the mayor of a town called San Carlos Cedro. And what happened was that he had a radio station. The what you would call gangs of the town, and forgive me, I've forgotten the specific name for this gang, said they wanted to use his radio station to broadcast their message, and if he didn't allow them to use the station, they were going to kill him. So in order to seek a better place for his family, where he wanted to basically get out of there, he came to America, political asylum. When I interviewed him on her behalf, she was trying to get him, his family, asylum to get him out of there. And I don't know how that came out. It ended up being a long, drawn-out process. But what I try to tell people to this day is, when people come here, it's for reasons that add up to trying to save their lives. And we should be more empathic of that and caring rather than insensitive, because at the end of the day, he was trying to save his life and his family's life from a kind of oppression caused by criminal elements in San Carlos Cedro, So I always think about that when I hear about these stories about, someone could say, well, shouldn't their government help their economy? But the reality is that person doesn't have enough time in their lives to wait for any organization around the world to get its act together, They have to save their family now. And so it comes to people who care enough to help to say, hey, you know what? We have to have a system. Now, this goes back to what I was saying before about, I think, why we're being put through this. We have to understand the importance of taking care of each other.
That's the only way that in historical, it's always been the way to be able to get equality and to get the basic human rights that we deserve, as humans, just as humans, to come together, to support each other. Going against each other has never, ever brought anything good, Nope. No matter how much one group believes that they are superior and only they can do it, No. At the end of the day, you need everybody together.
Well said. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we've been on. I'd love to have you back and hear resolutions. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you before you wind up. What do you think of how the city is responding to the crisis? The mayor, what council district? You know who your council person is by chance?
I don't. I really don't. I've been very much out of a lot of things since I started getting surgeries. I haven't been very up to date with anything, but I should be.
Yeah, without giving specifics, do you live near the grocery store?
Yeah, yes, that's crazy. I live
Vision there, but your council member is either
Okay.
in Lynette Gibson McElhaney or or it's either Lynette Gibson McElhaney in that area or possibly Shang Tao or Dan Calb. It's a kind of a weird cross section of boundaries, but in the outlaw.
Yeah, I remember learning about all of this a while ago. It's just I've had to take my studies on hold because I'm also trying to be an immigration lawyer, but I only have my undergrad right now and I'm working on it. I didn't expect to, obviously, who expects to get cancer so young?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, right now I'm just trying to survive and then jump back into everything that I care about and what I do.
Where are you with your cancer treatments?
I'm sorry?
Where are you with your cancer treatments?
So cancer treatments are actually, they're just pills now. So I'm only taking pills. Everything is pretty good. It's just a couple of cells that were found, so they're just trying to get rid of them. The problem is a lot of people don't know, and there's this misconception where it's like, oh, they get the cancer out, they get the radiation, the chemotherapy, the cancer's gone. People don't understand that your body is never the same again, and you start having other complications and other things. And for me, I had a nerve clip, so I cannot walk without a surgery every 3 months without having an internal battery and medication on top, just to be able to walk a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, there's a bunch of other things, that came with the cancer, like post-cancer complications that I never thought would even be related to it. I'm going blind.
What?
And I also, I developed something from the illness, so I'm going blind as well, and I'm diabetic as well because of all the medication I had to take and how bad everything got. Mentioning that it's been a while, but you also asked me to answer in Spanish about the gentrification and the
yes. I apologize. Yeah, right.
Would you still
absolutely,
like
please?
Yeah.
And folks, she's going to answer in Spanish the question that Joseph Amadores asked regarding gentrification. Please.
Okay. You know what's the only thing now? This is kind of embarrassing, but I forget how to say gentrification in Spanish. Do you know how to say it?
No, I don't. I would have to. Let me see something here. Let me see if there's a translation for it. I'm looking online here.
I always forget. I forget, yeah.
English to Spanish. If I type gentrification. Gentrification?
Gentrification?
Yeah, it has a Sadia.
Oh, I can explain it, I think, so people can understand it. So a lot of people, even if I say it, they're probably going to be like, what is that,
Yeah, maybe you can just Spanglish it.
Spanglish it. There you go. See? Yeah. There you go. Yes, that's how I talk most of the time. Well, so, una de las preguntas fue de la situación que está pasando ahorita en la área de la bahía, específicamente en Oakland, donde está pasando lo que se llama la gentrification, que es donde los barrios que eran um, usualmente de minorías, de latinos, asiáticos y afroamericanos, eran barrios considerados pobres, y que nadie quería vivir así antes. Lo que está pasando ahorita es que se está construyendo muchísimo en Oakland y se está transformando a que vengan muchas personas con dinero y las ventas están subiendo y ya no es tan fácil habitar Oakland para las personas y las familias de recursos mínimos, de familias más grandes que ganan menos. Las rentas están subiendo a grados que nunca se habían visto en el área de la bahía. Entonces mucha gente se está yendo, muchos se están quedando y muchos están enojados por lo que está pasando. Y también está lo que pasa con el presidente actual, Donald Trump, que tiene mucho odio, no tiene ni siquiera razón. Muchas de las veces no dice por qué, pero nos echa la culpa a uno y dice que somos los que nos robamos los trabajos de las personas americanas por cuando venimos para acá. Entonces creo que ese señor sí estaba enojado y tiene bastante rencor en sí mismo porque está frustrado que su renta a lo mejor subió o porque ya todo está más caro, incluso las comidas en restaurantes o en los supermercados, y como ve que el presidente puede decir y hacer lo que sea con nosotros hasta el punto de tenernos ahorita en centros de concentración donde nos están separando a nuestros madres, hijos y padres y hijos tratando de emigrar a Estados Unidos. Si él puede hacer todo esto y no tiene ninguna consecuencia, este señor a lo mejor busca hacer lo mismo y principalmente buscar alguien que es vulnerable, como una mujer como yo que estaba en una silla de ruedas, que él podía ver que estaba enferma y que fácilmente lastima. Y como yo le dije en el video y como le dije adentro de la tienda, si yo fuese un hombre, creo que tú no hubieses hecho nada, ni hubieras dicho nada de lo que me estás diciendo a mí. Porque un hombre no creo que nada más se quedaría parado escuchándote o regresándote las palabras que tú estás usando conmigo. So, creo que sí, este señor está enojado por muchas cosas, especialmente por eso, y quiere desquitarse con alguien y con la primera persona que se le pone enfrente, porque tengo una amiga que también me mandó un mensaje y me mencionó que ella también fue no atacada por él, simplemente la vio, estaban en el banco y ella estaba 6 pies atrás, pero la miraba muy feo, es asiática, la vio sola, mujer, y a ella también le contestó mal y la vio un poco mal. Entonces ahora que ella vio el video piensa que ella también fue una víctima del racismo que él trae en sí mismo.
Well, thank you very much for that. Joseph, you have anything to add before we close out?
No, I just had 2 fun questions.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys find I just add something really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I actually did not make any racist comments to him. Yeah, I don't know how many people noticed that. You know, not inside of the store, not outside of the store. And I'd like, you know, the public and for people that are hearing this to know that even if someone looks Mexican or is of a complexion of skin color, does not mean that they are fully Mexican or they are fully just one race nowadays that, races are mixing so much,
Right.
My family is actually very, very diverse. We are of all skin colors. So I did not see skin colors since I was a child because my cousins are all half Mexican, half Cuban, half Nicaraguense, and of all complexions. So I didn't understand, that other people that looked like my cousins of darker complexion in school didn't speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to understand race and language in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
And I also have family where I have Asian godchildren and Asian nieces. Now that the COVID-19, they have also, had to educate people on not being racist to Asians because of the COVID-19 and wanting to blame
Right.
them and for their cultures and their norms, because
Right.
we wouldn't want to be attacked if a virus started in Mexico because it just started there.
Right. Right.
So, I thank God and I thank the Creator that I come from a diverse family and my parents taught me very differently. So I do not need to resort to being racist. I love all my family of all colors, of all ages, and of all backgrounds, and we're all different, but we are all similar as well. So, yes, I do not stand, I stood up for myself and I do not let other people mistreat others in front of me or be racist to someone else in front of me because I can imagine and I can see one of my cousins, one of my aunts, my grandparents, or one of my nieces, being this person attacked. So I invite, everyone to maybe do something, it doesn't take, fist or violence or physical altercations to demand respect and to ask for respect and to
Right.
all that's needed is just, as you said previously, hey, can't you be a gentleman? Or
Mm-hmm.
hey, you're wrong in this. Do you mind just leaving them alone and continuing on with your day?
Mm-hmm.
That can definitely nowadays even save a life
Yes.
because of the America that we live in today.
Well said. I'm gonna let that be the last one. Joseph will be back later. And Lupe, love to have you back and just keep us up to date with what's happening. First of all, with yourself, and second with Oakland. And God bless you. And I'm
Yes,
sorry you had to
definitely.
experience that, but hey, you stood up for yourself, and God bless you through all this.
Thank you, and God bless you as well. Take care. I am very happy that you found the video and that we are talking and that you're giving me this platform and giving me a voice. I really appreciate what you're doing for us, for everyone, and continue the great work. And if I can ever help in anything, please let me know.
I might take you up on that. I have some ideas. All right.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands, so no problem.
You got it. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And
okay.
all right, and I will. You got it. So I will. One moment, Lupe, stick around. Folks. I'll be back with another stream in about an hour. Thank you, Lupe. Don't go anywhere because you're on a separate channel. I'm just doing this for the YouTube audience. And Joseph, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
And subscribe to Zuni62.
Thank you, Joseph.
And
thank you. I appreciate it.
And bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. Thanks. And that stream is ended. End. Cool.